Showboating Sports, guys. Glad you guys are back to the channel. Tonight, we're going to talk about rumors about Tank versus Frank Martin and why. Why are these guys fighting? Before we get into all of that, I'd like to say thank you guys for coming back to the channel. Appreciate you guys for showing back up. And if you are new to the channel, I hope you guys would subscribe to the channel, like, and be a part of the community that we talk about boxing most weeknights. And we say what we say and we stand on that stuff. You know what I mean? So this is a good forum where people can come in and talk, have their different point of views, but we could always agree to disagree sometimes, and we'd always be on the same page. With that being said, let's get on with it. Huck Mo, salute. What's up with you, man? Man. So tonight, the rumors seem like they're going to be true. Tank versus Frank Martin. And why? Why does that fight happen? What are your thoughts on that? Is this a good fight? Please let us know. Hold on one second. Let me grab my stuff just to make sure that I can hear what's going down, to make sure that my sound is up and you guys can definitely hear me. Let's make sure. But anyway, out of all the fights that could have happened, now we got Tank fighting Frank Martin. I don't think it's a terrible fight, but I would like to have seen Frank Martin be a seasoned just a little bit more. You know what I mean? That's what I would hope for. But this is the thing. You can't pass the opportunity up. And now is not the time to keep letting fights marinate. If Frank Martin says he's ready, give that guy a shot. You know what I mean? I personally don't think that he's ready. I really don't. I don't think Frank Martin is ready for that fight. I don't. The reason why I said it is because Rivera, he did good against Rivera. I don't think he did the best job in the world. I think he could have done a better job. But Tank is a whole totally different beast, man. You know what I mean? Tank is going to box with you. Tank is going to look for that shot. Frank is good, but does he have enough power to keep Tank at bay? You know what I mean? And this is the thing. Frank doesn't have that advantage of being a lot taller, longer range to keep him back. So that's one thing. So Tank doesn't have that. Frank Martin didn't have that advantage, that size advantage over on Tank. You know what I mean? So I don't think that Frank can beat Tank. But you know, Derrick James has been known to put up a pretty good game plan for a lot of stuff. Now Frank, he does listen to Derrick James. I know the last time when he fought, he went out, he listened to everything that Derrick James said. You know what I mean? But sometimes it takes a lot more because your trainer can't get in there and fight for you. You know what I mean? Does he have enough to do it? You know? He says, good Tank giving a brother a chance instead of those. Man, I'm not going to say that. Listen, boxers are boxers, man. Listen, I want to see everybody fight everybody. You know what I mean? I do. I want to see it. I want to see Tank. Listen, I don't think Frank can beat Tank. I just don't. I just don't, but I could be wrong. You know what I mean? I like Frank Martin. I like Frank. I really do. I like Frank. Him and Keyshawn, I like to have seen those two fight. You know what I mean? That's a fight I wish they had to marinate it. They wouldn't let marinate. I wish they would just get it on, but I do understand different sides of the street. I totally understand that. You know, a lot of people don't think it's different sides of the street, but it really is. It really is, because promotional companies are fighting for territory. They're fighting for boxers. They have their own way that they want to run their systems and stuff, and it works better for them. So in-house fights are easier to make, you know what I mean? And then once they have those fighters, they can keep the fighters from being delusional. You know what I'm saying? See, the problem is, like, when you take two fighters, one fighter wants so much money, you know what I mean? They want the lion's portion, and it messes up a lot of fights. You know what I'm saying? So he said Frank might pull it off. Who knows? It could happen. Listen, it could really happen, bro. There's so much stuff been going on in boxing that I just wouldn't think that would happen. I would not think that Jermell Charlo would get in there and fight Canelo and not try to win. You know what I mean? Not give it his all. I figured he'd go in there. He was bigger than Canelo. He's a bigger person than Canelo. And my thing is, he didn't have to gain all that weight. You know what I mean? He could have kept his weight down just a little bit. He still had the size advantage on him. You know what I mean? But I don't think it was because he was getting tired. He just seemed like he was in there like starstruck, like Caleb Plant. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. So anything can happen in a boxing match, like I said, but that's a long shot for Frank Martin to pull off to beat Tank. That's a long shot, bro. That's really a long shot, man. You know what I mean? You know who I would like to have seen? I would like to have seen Frank Martin have fought Pitbull Cruz. that would have told us a little something, you know what I mean? Instead of Rolly, you know what I mean? Rolly doesn't have all the best skills in the world. The only thing that I think that Rolly brings to the table with that one is he's just gonna be rough and tough and rough, and he fights dirty. You know what I mean? He definitely fights dirty. That's the thing about Rolly. He's gonna elbow, he's gonna rough him up, and he's got a size advantage. You know what I mean? So how will Pitbull Cruz do with that? You know what I mean? What would he do when he's got a guy that's sitting there trying to rough him up and not trying to box? You know what I mean? So it's not going to be the typical boxing match that he's kind of used to. You know what I mean? But can he take it? He probably could. You know what I mean? Probably can. We'll see. He seems to be rough and rugged, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what both these guys are made of. You know what I mean? But when it comes back down to Frank Martin, I like Frank Martin. I like to see him and Keyshawn fight. But if he's got to fight with Tank, hey, so be it. Go in there and may the best man win. But I do think Tank is going to come out on top on that one. Rolly is still running from that Amazonian elder. hey, that's exactly what the hell Rolly doing, man. Rolly was supposed to fight that dude again, man. That dude deserved to win that fight and have a immediate rematch. He really did, man. That dude deserved that, man. They did that guy wrong, man. They did him wrong, bro. Rolly didn't want no more of that geriatrics fight. Rolly didn't want that at all, bro. Rolly was like, nah, that's it for me. I'm gone, bro. That's what Rolly was thinking. Rolly was like, I'm out of here. You know what I mean? So, and I guess he looked at it like, hey, why fight this guy again? Because if I have a chance at losing, I would rather make a little bit more money. You know what I'm saying? And maybe that dude has just got Rolly's number. You know what I mean? But Rolly, I don't know what to say. The reason why I say about Rolly in that number is because when Rolly fought Tank, he actually did good the first few rounds. Rolly did good the first few rounds with Tank before Tank put him to sleep. And that was kind of like a knee-jerk reaction with Tank, because Tank was stepping back. Rolly came on in, and Tank said he wasn't really trying to hurt him with that, but he just saw it through it. It just happened at the last second. Now, Tank was trying to set Rolly up, but that wasn't the punch that he really wanted to land and knock Rolly out. It just happened. It was one of those things that Rolly ran into, got caught, and got knocked the freak out. You know what I mean? But Rolly did good up until that point. Now, did Rolly do good because Tank was giving him a lot of respect because he said he's going to try to knock Tank out the first round? Maybe Tank was being cautious. Maybe that's what it was. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's what it was. We saw Tank being cautious. That could be what it was. I don't 100% know. I don't know if that's what made Rolly look good. I can't tell you. You know what I'm saying? But then Rolly turns right around and fights this older guy, this geriatrics dude that was like, I think the guy was 75 years old. He fights this guy and he loses. You know what I mean? He lost that. The referee helped him out with that. So, but that's just one of those things, man. What can you say? But I'm tired of fights marinating. I'm tired by the time they fight that it's past this time, and then these guys get hurt, or these guys, something goes down and it ruins a perfectly good fight. You know what I mean? Like the Anthony Joshua and Wilder fight. That should have happened a long time ago. Now these two guys got losses. Anthony Joshua doesn't fight like he should fight, but now he's with Derrick James. He's starting to come around. He's starting to look a little bit better, right? Andy Ruiz took all of AJ's confidence, and then he fought Usyk. Usyk took all his confidence. He was having real mental problems where he was mentally shutting down. He was really tripping, man. He was having some problems. So with him now with Derrick James, hopefully Derrick James is still getting him back on track, but I just don't think him and Wilder, that fight is not one of the fights that I really want to see now. You know what I mean? I like to see it just for shits and giggles, but just to say, hey, I'm going to pay $100 for that pay-per-view fight. I don't know, man. I don't know. That's one of those things I have to see how they build that up, see how it looks to see it. But it's a fight that passes prime. It's done went too far, you know what I mean? And that's what a lot of these fights do. But I think Tank and Shakur Stevenson should fight. That's the fight I would like to have seen, Tank and Shakur, more than Frank Martin and Tank. But Frank Martin deserves his chance. He's put in his time. He deserves it. And I guess at this point in time, they're like, hey, keep stepping up in competition. Let him go on up for a title. What's the worst can happen? He lose, get knocked out, or just lose. Then guess what? He just got a loss on his belt. I mean, a loss. So who cares? You know? So I guess, but my problem is with Tank. You couldn't have made a better fight. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't have made sure you made the Devin fight. You couldn't have went up and fought, I don't know, somebody else, man. You know what I mean? You could have fought Shakur Stevenson. You could have fought Loma. You could have fought somebody else. But I don't want to take anything from Frank Martin. You know who else I would like to have saw Frank Martin fight? George Kambosos. I would have liked to have seen Frank Martin and George Kambosos fight. That would have been a good gauging stick for Frank Martin to see just how well he could do with somebody like Kambosos. Kambosos ain't the best fighter, but he's a good, decent, solid fighter. And he steps up to the plate. He's going to put pressure on you, and he's going to see if you or what you say you are. Frank Martin is as good as he say he is. He should beat Kambosos, but it's all politics in boxing, man. That's the problem with boxing. And that's the problem why Shakur Stevenson ain't getting the fights that he wants. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, Shakur Stevenson said he's supposed to be leaving Top Rank. But where will he go? Will he go to the Zone? I don't know if he's gonna go to the Zone. Will he go to PBC? I don't know about that either. A lot of people, I don't understand this whole thing that they just don't really like PBC. A lot of people don't like PBC, but that's where most of the fighters are, you know what I mean? And then PBC will give you a chance to go back. Art Man the Great, salute. This the best in-house fight. Yeah, you think so? You think it's the best in-house fight? Let me think. With PBC for that deal. But you know what? He could have moved up to 140. He could have had a good fight at 140, Oh, they said Shakur Stevens going to resign with Top Rank. Oh, that's the thing I don't understand. How do you feel about that? I have a problem with that, bro. Let me tell you why I got a problem with that. Because, see, you cry about not making the best fights, but you don't have the best people over there on that side, right? And you're going to sit there and cry and talk about it's no sides of the street. When you know it's sides of the street, you got to take my thing is this. You don't owe nobody no loyalty but yourself. So you done dealt with Bob Arum for so long now. Switch over to PBC. You done been with Top Rank you done been with them for so long. Why not go to PBC? See what they got to offer. Go over there and try to get you some belts. Go over there and try to run through some of the people. You know what I mean? Shakur Stevens is a really good athlete, and he's going to be a champ. He's going to definitely be a champ. But I would get over there where Tank and everybody is. You know what I mean? And because if they make that fight, because he get over there off Top Rank, it'll be easy to make that Devin fight or another fight. They got some good people over there at 140 that Tank can get up there and fight, or that Shakur Stevens can get up there and fight. You know what I mean? It's a whole lot of people up there. He's got enough to make something happen, but you're right. This is a good in-house thing for them. Shakur with Jay Prince, and Prince got a good relationship with Bob. Yeah, but the other thing is he's got a good relationship with Bob, but Jay Prince don't have a good relationship for Floyd because that time he sent those guys in there with that bat to beat up Floyd. They beat up his bodyguards, and Bob Arum had to pay $600,000 to get Floyd out of his contract. So I think at that point in time, I don't think Jay Prince and Floyd and them are going to really do any business together. I think that's where the biggest problem is. I think that when he pulled that stunt, I think that Floyd probably talks to them. I'd say they probably cordial, but deep down inside, Floyd might not want to make those kind of fights with Jay Prince. You know what I mean? Could be some still resentment there from a long time ago. It could be. If I was Floyd and you sent your guys up there to jump on my bodyguards and I had to pay you $600,000 to get out of there, nah, bro, you're not making no more money off of me. I might not say that because you don't want no problems out there. Floyd don't want them Jay Prince problems. I would just avoid it. I'd be like, it just ain't gonna work. You know what I mean? But deep down inside, we all know what it's about. It's the politics that went on outside of boxing. So that's probably what it is. You know what I mean? Jay Prince, Jay Prince has a reputation outside, of that boxing stuff, So that's going to always make things hard to make a fight like that, And Shakur Stevenson is going to have that problem. You know what I mean? It's going to be that problem because Jay Prince, it matters who you're signed with. A lot of people don't understand that. It matters who you sign with. And if I was Floyd, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't. I'm like, bro, because you done made this stuff get too personal. You know what I mean? You come in here and you want to do all this and that and the third about the money that I owe you, all the way to get violent on it. Man, you could have just went in and tried to sue or do something like that, sat down and talk. But, I had to pay you $600,000 to get out of that contract. Guess what, bro? You want to deal with me, you're going to pay. You're going to pay. I want that $600,000 on that Shakur Stevenson fight. So how about this? You give me $1.2 million. That way I make $600,000, and then we might be able to negotiate out of that. I want that $600,000 I had to give you plus $600,000 in interest. Other than that, I wouldn't deal with it. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you want to deal with us? We got the juice over here at PBC because Floyd runs boxing. Floyd's name still carries a lot of weight. PBC carries a lot of weight. You know what I mean? And Bob Arum, you at Bob Arum's mercy. Jay Prince is. But that's what Shakur Stevenson is. So Shakur Stevenson is kind of stuck. He's stuck, bro. He's stuck. So they're not going to rush in to make a fight with that just to give you a chance. And this is the thing. There is a business side to boxing that a lot of the fans, we don't really recognize. But when you really think about it, what would you do when you was in that situation? You know what I mean? You got these fighters that you've been paying them and you've been getting them good fights and they going back and forth. And these guys are loyal. You got people that don't want to join your company that hopefully beat one of your champs, take the belt, and then dodge you right after. You know they would do that. You know what I'm saying? If Bob get all those belts, Bob going to dodge you just as long as he can. And that's what they did with Lomachenko and Devin Haney. Look at what kind of contract Devin Haney had to sign just to be able to fight to get that belt. He had to take some crappy contracts and then go to Australia. Then when he left from Australia, he had to still go up there and fight Lomachenko. He had to take a 3-fight deal, bruh. And once he won, guess what? He was like, I'm out of here. I don't blame Devin. And I wouldn't give him no shot either. Bruh, you want these belts? Yeah, listen, I like to win and beat your guys up and put them on my resume, but I also want this money in my pocket. And I know I'm not talking like a true boxing fan, but really, to be honest, man, that business messes up what we're watching. And we have to understand that and why they're doing what they're doing. Some shit don't make stuff. Some stuff don't make sense, but some stuff does make sense. You know what I mean? And the stuff that I think makes sense is a lot of people don't like dealing with Bob Arum because Bob Arum has his own way of doing stuff. You know what I mean? Bob Arum has been running the show for a long time. He's past his time. De La Hoya. A lot of people don't like dealing with De La Hoya. You see how Canelo don't want to deal with De La Hoya at all. He doesn't like De La Hoya. That shit is personal with him. He said Devin is the dude. Yeah, I like Dev. Listen, I like any fighter that's out there taking it serious and trying to become great. I enjoy the fighter. You know what I mean? Even he's not my biggest favorite fighter, I still like it. You know what I mean? But Devin, I've liked Devin for a while. Yeah, Devin definitely paid the cost to be the boss, bro. He definitely did. He walked through hell and high water to go get those belts, man. And it's Shakur Stevenson's like, nah, man, I don't want to take a pay cut. Oh, you're going to take a pay cut, bro. You're going to definitely take a pay cut. If I had to go over here and shrink myself down looking like Skeletor and then had to go take those crappy contracts and I almost had to fight without my dad and all that other stuff, nah, bro, you're going to take a cut. You're going to take a cut in your pay to take a shot at it. You know what I mean? I would definitely do that because the business side of boxing is not fair. Because, see, this would have happened. Devin could lose his belt, and it's a good likelihood chance that Shakur Stevenson could beat him. Then it'd be some crap going on after it. You know what I'm saying? It could be some crap. People start dodging. Look at Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder had that fight set. They had a rematch clause in there. Tyson Fury tried everything he could to get out of that rematch. Everything he could to get out of that rematch to a guy who brought him back into boxing and gave him a shot at the title off the top. And that's how you repay this man? You try to avoid him? You owe that dude that. You got to be a stand-up dude, bro. And a lot of these dudes in here ain't stand-up dudes, man. They're not stand-up dudes. They'll say anything they can to be able to get the belt, and once they get the belt, it's going to be a different ball game. That's why I say I don't know how this Terrence Crawford and Earl Spence thing is going to pan out. You know what I mean? If it's negotiated like it was the first one, we probably won't even see a part two. Listen, Terrence Crawford made pretty good, decent money off those two fights with BLK Prime fighting that guy that was a sparring match and beating Earl. And Earl wasn't even a hard fight. I don't know what was wrong with Earl, but it wasn't a hard fight. You know what I mean? I don't think the rematch would be anywhere close to what the first match was. I think Earl gonna come show out, and Crawford could probably beat Earl, but I don't think that it's gonna be in a walk in the park like it was the first time. You know what I mean? So whatever's wrong, I'm sure they're gonna correct that. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, Terrence Crawford could be hard to deal with. I don't know. You know, all I'm seeing is going back and forth in the media and rumors and stuff going around that they are fighting and not fighting. Mauricio Sulaiman said the other day that he don't think the fight is going to happen. But I don't know. I think the fight is going to happen because they got it signed and that they have to go with it. But like I said, Crawford made some said the rematch is off. They say it is, but I have to see that to believe it. You know what I mean? I had to see what the basis is of who decided not to push it, because I don't think Earl would walk away, but maybe Earl did walk away. I don't know, but I don't think Earl doesn't want to go out like that. Not unless they giving Earl somebody like Canelo. You know what I mean? It's got to be a reason to make Earl walk away, or I think Earl's gonna take it. You know what I mean? Unless they set Earl down and said, "Look, let this." They had a deadline passed. I don't know, bro. I don't know. You could be right. I don't know. Like I said, I can only guess. I can go by what I heard. I can go by some of the people I talked to that I'm still hearing that the fight is they still try to negotiate it under the table out of the view of the public. You know what I mean? They try to keep the public from being involved in that situation like they were the first time. So I think that's what they're trying to do to make it seem like they're not fighting. That's what I heard, but I could be wrong. You know what I mean? Just like I told everybody that fight was happening. I told them that fight was happening. I told him it was. I said, Earl's next fight is that. Oh, no, they're not going to fight. I knew it was. I'd already heard it was. And then they brought Keith Thurman in there. I said, Earl ain't fighting Keith Thurman. Earl already said he wasn't fighting Keith Thurman. You know what I mean? But I think that fight is on. From what I'm hearing, the fight is on. But they're trying to keep it out of the public eye. They try to get everything in order. I think that's what it is. Because they want to get back control, and they want to make sure that they get all their ducks in a row. You know what I mean? Of who's going to fight who next. Because you got to think PBC is famous for that. You know what I mean? If their fighter loses, they will set them up again with another title shot. But they got to make sure that they do this thing in order. This fight happens, and the outcome of this fight might lead to 2 different fights, which the outcome of those fights might lead to some more different fights. You know what I mean? Or rematches and stuff. You know how it is. And Al is pretty good on that. Only problem that we ran into that other year was Terrence Crawford didn't want to make that fight for whatever reason. For whatever reason, he didn't want to make that fight. He felt like, hey, I'm A side. You know what I mean? But now it's no problem. He said, hey, I'm A side. You know what I mean? But I think that they had a lot of that stuff in order. So, and Earl knows to get that fight from him, he's got to take a step back. But, hopefully they'll get that together. Hopefully this Tank and Frank Martin thing, they say that's a done deal too. So we'll see how that goes. I just don't think that Frank Martin is 100% ready. Just like I said, I don't think Ryan Garcia is 100% ready for Devin. I think both those 2 guys need another tune-up fight, another fight or 2. Ryan definitely needs another fight. Maybe 2. And Frank Martin needs another one too, because you're going against Tank, bruh. And Ryan's a pretty good fighter, but Ryan still has some of those flaws that Devin's going to easily exploit. Ryan always takes a step back, straight back. And Devin sees it. Everybody says it. Ryan keeps his chin in the air. Those are the problems that Devin is going to exploit. It's just going to happen. And that's just something you just can't correct overnight. Because you got to think, when he had his last fight, he got in there, he did the same. He did it with Tank, and he also did it with this last fight. Ryan consistently keeps doing the same thing over and over again. Some of the things look a little better, but some of the things are not better. And those are things that get him knocked out. Devin is going to take full advantage of that. And y'all know I like Ryan. I've taken up for Ryan plenty of times, but I like Devin and I like Ryan. So in this situation, I don't care who wins. You know what I mean? I can't lose. Now, if either one of them was fighting Teofimo Lopez, I'd be picking one of them to beat Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo Lopez, I think he's a decent fighter, but he's done rubbed me the wrong way for a long time. You know what I'm saying? And so some of that stuff that he's done, I just can't. I can't, just like Chris Colbert. Chris Colbert has rubbed me the wrong way on a lot of things he said and a lot of things he's done. So there's certain fighters out there that I just don't pull for. And I'm petty. I'm petty as hell on some stuff. You know what I mean? I hold grudges on stuff. I see some stuff that I don't like and I stick to it. You know what I mean? And Chris Colbert, all that stuff he said about Deontay Wilder and all this other stuff and how he's so good and how bad Deontay Wilder was. Hey, guess what? You know what I mean? Andrea Lovely, salute. Glad you're in the building. Please tell us what do you think Tank and Frank Martin is going to fight? And if so, Who do you pick to win? Do you think Frank Martin has a chance to win that? I just hope, like I said, if it is a fight, I just want to see some good fights. That's one of my biggest things. You know what I mean? And like I said, if it's two good competitive fighters, I want to see that. You know what I'm saying? So, let me see. Let me see. Hold on one second, guys. Hold on. All right. There we go. There we go. All right. She said that's a good fight, but Tank will stop him. I think so too. Don't you think he needs to have at least another 1 or 2 fights to develop? You know what I mean? Now, I don't want them to marinate the fight so long that something happens and the fight doesn't happen. But right now, I think Frank Martin needs another 2 fights. He definitely needs I would like to see him fight Keyshawn. You know? Now, Frank and Tank ain't bad. No. Don't get me wrong. It ain't a bad fight. It is not a one-sided, just messed up fight, but I just don't think he's got enough in there to stop Tank. I just don't. I think that this, and the root I'm putting it on is, remember he fought Rivera. We talked about this the other day. When Frank Martin fought Rivera, he could have stopped that dude, but he didn't. He's got to have a little bit more of that killer instinct in him. You know what I mean? I know he was following the game plan of Derrick James. I get that. I get that totally. He was definitely following the game plan. But at some point in time, you got to make a statement. Because at that level, it's a lot of mental stuff. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these guys got some of the same skills, and it's the mental. So sometimes you beat guys before you even get in the ring. You know what I mean? Too much posturing in boxing. Yep, these fights need to be made. A lot of these fighters overstate their value. I like that. A lot of fighters overstate their value. And that's what Shakur Stevenson said. That's what, not said, but that's what he did. He should have taken a pay cut to fight Devin. The same way Devin took a step back to fight Lomachenko and Kambosos. So he had to go through the fire just to go get that shot. You know what I mean? And sometimes that's what you got to do. But then once you become A-side, then you do what you got to do. Yeah. Oh, I'm with you on that. Forget that. They men. If they say they ready, they ready. Listen, I'm a firm believer in that one, bro. If a fighter say he ready for that, put him in there and do it. Put him in there and do it. Because at least I know he's going to get in there and try. Most of the time, you know what I mean? Most of the time, they should do that and they should try. But Art, man, this is the problem that I'm having. You had somebody like Jermell Charlo, which he should have been ready for that Canelo. You go in there with Canelo and you don't even go in there and try. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Hold on. Yeah. You know what? I'll take somebody in tonight. We just now got back on. Hold on. Let me see. Give me 1 second. Hold on. 1 quick second. Hold on. 1 second. Let me see. Hold on 1 second. All right, here we go. We'll bring somebody on tonight. Just hold on 1 second. Hold on. There you go. I'll bring you on for a few minutes. Let's come in and talk your stuff a little bit and then come on back out. Sure will. Hold on. Here we go. There you go. Yeah, but Shakur Stevenson didn't see the big picture. He didn't. And that's the thing. Look, Shakur Stevenson, listen, most fighters had to. Floyd even told you that when he fought De La Hoya ran the show. De La Hoya ran the show. So there you have it. De La Hoya ran the show. So he had to take a step back. He had to take B-side. De La Hoya said he won't do it. And at that point, he was never B-side again. He was A-side. You know what I mean? Same thing Canelo did. Canelo had to take B-side with Floyd Mayweather. And then what happened? Once he took B-side with Floyd Mayweather, he was never B-side again. You know what I mean? So some of these fighters got to do that. And I think at the end of the day, it's exactly what you said. These fighters right here want to overvalue themselves at that particular time. Shakur Stevenson is definitely worth it. Salute. Zach B is in the building. Zach B is in the building. Salute, man. Glad to see you up in here. What's your thought on the Tank versus Frank Martin? And do you think they should have this fight now? Is it a good fight for Tank? We definitely know it's a good fight for Frank Martin. Hopefully it's a competitive fight. I just don't think Frank is 100% ready for that yet. But if he say he's ready, he's ready. You know what I mean? That's how I see it. You know what I'm saying? So there you have it. There you have it. One more. Bring this right here where I can see. There we go. Huh? There we go. Yeah, I wait to hear you come on in. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Where'd you go? He asked, where did Art Man go? Where'd you go, Art Man? There it is. It's right there on the screen, bro. Yeah, there you go. But yeah, man, like I said, listen, I just want to see some good fighting, but I want to see some good competitive fight. You know what I mean? Said, man, this fight is going to be classic. Do you think Frank Martin got what it takes to beat Tank? Do you think he's ready? I don't 100% think Frank is 100% ready, but you know what I'm saying? So I don't really think he is, but if he say he ready, he ready. If he says he's ready, he's ready. Just like Ryan. I don't think Ryan is 100% ready for Devin, but if Ryan say he ready, same way he did with Tank, bring it on in. You know what I mean? Ring rust is a thing, and plus he had ring rust with Tank, which Tank was going to probably win that anyway, but he took too much time off, and all those times that he kept passing up fights when he was having out of the ring problems and stuff, it caught up with him. Devin kept fighting, Tank kept fighting, you know, all that. He said, I don't think any of them are ready. Nah, I agree with you. A lot of them are not ready, but you know what? If they say they ready, but I'm going to say this. This is what I'm going to say. I like it because so what you lose. So what you lose. You can learn a lot from a loss. You know what I mean? So if Frank Martin want to go in there and fight, so be it. He could win. You know what I mean? I don't see it. Love to see him fight somebody like Kambosos first, or I love to see him fight, somebody else. You know what I mean? But Tank's top dog, so go for it. Let's see what he got. But I would rather have seen him fight that. The Rivera fight, like I said, I saw that fight. I just really wasn't. I didn't think I saw I don't want to say this in the wrong way to where people think I don't think Frank Martin has dog in him, but I need to see that come out of him. I need to see that line. I need to see that killer instinct come out of there. You know what I'm saying? Because he had Rivera hurt. And when he had Rivera hurt, he should have went on in and took care of him. Said Frank is a hell of a talent. He is. He's a definitely good talent. He really is. But Tank is a hell of a talent too. You know what I mean? This is not like an average fighter. We're talking about Tank Davis. You know what I mean? Tank is a really good fighter. You know what I mean? Now, Keyshawn Davis is a good fighter. I think Keyshawn Davis needs a little bit more time this season. He's getting better and better every time I see him fight. 2 fights ago, I was like, he needs some more, but he's ready to step on in. Both those two guys are really ready to fight each other. Keyshawn Davis is a good fighter, man. I like seeing him. I would love to see him and Frank. I think they're on the same level. I think Tank is slightly above those guys. I think Shakur Stevenson is slightly above those guys. But if he say he's ready, bro. You gotta let him come on and let it go. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, Kambosos, I would like to have seen him fight Pitbull Cruz. That would have been a good fight. Frank Martin against Pitbull Cruz would have been a good fight. I picked Frank over Pitbull Cruz. You know what I mean? I like Pitbull Cruz. I'm just not 100% sold. You know what I mean? On him either. You know? But I think he's a good, decent fighter. He said, yeah, but right at this point, these are the 2 top guys. Yeah, and for PBC, you know what I mean? For PBC, that's in-house. The same thing that Artman said. He said that's one of the best top dog fights they could get over there at PBC, and I agree with that. And a lot going on in that weight class in PBC right now because Devin just left. Ryan just left that. You know, ain't too many people up there. that whole division is kind of starting to clear out a little bit because you got 2 people that left the division. None of those guys mixed it up. Those guys should have mixed. Listen, those guys should have mixed that up a long time ago. Ryan should have fought Devin before Devin fought JoJo Diaz. That's when Ryan should have fought him. Ryan was active. Devin was active. Neither one of them wouldn't have been no ring rust. None of that stuff. Devin wasn't trying to kill himself to make weight at that point. He was having a hard time. You know, it was starting to come on a little bit of a hard time, but they both was ready, and Devin was calling him out. That fight should have happened back then. What's up, Dion? Salute, salute, salute. Give us your thoughts on this Tank versus Frank Martin. Do you think Tank is ready? Do you think that not Tank? Do you think Frank Martin is ready for Tank? And is this a good fight for Tank? Will Tank get the credit he deserves if he beats Frank Martin, or is this just one of those fights that we just say, okay, you know? Okay, hold on.
What's going on?
All right, come on in. I
Can
can't
you
hear
hear me?
What's that ain't on? I can't hear a word you're saying, bro.
Can you hear me?
Is your mic on?
Yeah. Oh, it says the host has me muted. It says you have
Can't
me.
hear you. We can't hear you.
It says you have me muted.
Yeah, we can't. For some reason, we can't hear your mic.
Yeah.
We can't hear a word you're saying.
Can you hear me now?
Nah, I don't have you muted. You on. See, look. You good to go. Your mute is off. Your mute is definitely off, bro.
Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, for some reason it ain't working. Yeah. Said Tank was always the top guy, and he's still the top guy. They have all been chasing Tank. Yeah, they all been chasing Tank.
Can you hear me now?
Can't hear a word you saying, bro.
It says.
Can anybody? Can y'all hear him?
Muted.
Can y'all hear him? Because you definitely in. I don't know what it's doing. Yeah, because on that link, when you come in, we should be able to hear you. I just signed you right in. Your mute button is off. Yeah, see, my mute button is off too. Yeah. Oh, y'all can hear him? I can't hear him.
Yeah, they said.
Oh, wow.
Let me see. I don't know.
I don't know what's going on with it. They said they can hear you, bro. I can't hear you.
I don't know.
I don't know what's going on.
Let me back out.
Now say something. I hit the mute button that time to see. All right. I just unmuted you.
Okay, can you hear me?
Hold on, let me see. Yeah, I got everything on here. It should be coming up. I don't know what the heck it is, man. They say they can hear you though.
That's
Dion them say they can hear you. I don't know what it is, bruh. My apologies, man. For some reason, like I said, I don't have you on. I don't have you muted. You right here on. I wanted to hear what you had to say. Can you guys can hear me correctly, right? Hey, Dion, you can hear me, right? Yeah, so I don't know what it is. I got it in there. That's all I do is just when you come in, I just add you on in there. Huh. I don't know what it is. Oh, let me send another link. I'm gonna send you another invite. Try this one. See if that one will work. All right, there you go. That's another link. See if that one will work. If that don't work, I don't know what it is. But yeah, Dion, like I said, and when you get back in there, just let me know. All right, there we go. Yeah, this way I can talk straight to y'all. All right, there we go. Yeah. Still should be. Oh, let me see. Let me see. Hold on, guys. Hold on 1 second. All right. What's showing on here that all the stuff to come in? You good? You good to go? You good to go, bro? Anyway, back at it. So what's y'all's thoughts on that? So Dion, so There we go. Well, he'll know when he comes back on. He'll tell us. There we go. But yeah, man, like I said, Tank, man, it's crazy, man. I just want to see a good fight. That's all I care about right now. I just need some really good fights to come in, and that's what I want to see. It doesn't matter. And I like these guys trying to step up to the plate, like we said last night. The women are trying to step up to the plate. Hopefully, guys step up to the plate, and let's let them go. Let's let them go. I'm ready to let them guys go and let them guys fight it out. That's what I want to see. I want to see some good competitive fights. I think we all done put in our time for that, to see some good competitive fights. All this back and forth and people dodging each other. I don't care that they lose. I don't even care at this point. You get in, you lose, keep on stepping, man. We gotta make losing acceptable again. And that's on all of us. You know what I mean? We got to make sure that when fighters lose, we can't go in there and dog them. You know what I'm saying? But to be honest, when a fighter loses right, don't nobody really dog him, because Spence lost right. He got beat. He kept getting off the mat. Deontay Wilder got beat. He kept getting off the mat. These guys gave it their all to fight. Now, Jermell Charlo didn't give it his all, bruh. Now, that's a loss that I just don't, I'm not big up on that one. I'm not big up on that Jermell Charlo loss, bruh. I lost listen, Jermell Charlo, that was them Charlos. I like that. I like the stuff that they talked. I love how it seemed like they just didn't back down. But in there with Canelo, it was like he was starstruck. He wasn't the same Jermell Charlo. He just was not, man. And that right there is hurting boxing big time, bruh. You get these fighters keep calling another fighter out. Then when it's time to fight, they don't show up. And man, that's getting to me big time, bruh. It's done got on my nerves, man. It's done got on my nerves a whole lot, bruh. It just has. Did he finally come on back? Let's see. Let me check. Nah, he ain't back here. All right. I don't know. Hopefully my stream ain't tripping, is it? I agree. Way too much damn talking and less fighting. I agree with that. That's exactly what the problem is. And everybody, like I said last night, everybody wants to get paid. You know what I mean? And you got people like Shakur Stevenson didn't want to take a hit. You know what I mean? And I honestly and truly, and I'm not taking up for Devin. I don't think they're screwing Shakur Stevenson if he had to take a pay cut to get in there and fight Devin. Because like you said earlier, he didn't look at the bigger picture. There's always a bigger picture. You know what I'm saying? And when you win, guess what? When you win, there you have it.
Shit. Can you hear me
now? There
you
go.
You can hear me?
Can y'all hear him? Hey, Deanna, you in here? You in here too?
Yes, I'm in.
Let me see if I can hear you.
I
can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I don't think he can hear us. I think it's his microphone or his headphones.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
There we go. Can y'all hear them?
Can you hear me? Testing 1 2 testing.
OPBC has a strong lineup with Amazon Prime because these DAZN fighters shows are not that good. No, they not. DAZN, listen, DAZN should try to go cut a deal with PBC. That's what DAZN should do. They need to go sit down with PBC and do a joint effort. You know what I'm saying? To whereas we share our boxes. If we lose, we do get a shot back at it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't know if they can hear you or not. Hold on, let me see. Can y'all hear Art Man?
Hello?
Yep, I can hear
Feedback
you.
coming to my headphones. Hold on 1 second. Let me check my stuff. Hold on.
I can hear you, Art Man.
I can hear you too.
Yep, it's probably something on my end. Hold on. Y'all keep on going. Hey, Art, I'll give you a chance to go in there and say what you saying, right?
Okay.
Hey, Art, can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. Yep.
Okay, this is what I want you to do. You go ahead and talk for a second. I'm gonna try to see if I can tune you on in. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So that way you and Dion can talk a little bit. So give me 1 second. That way I can try to see if I can hear you, pull y'all on in. Okay. So go ahead and go.
Yeah, I think the Frank Martin versus Tank Davis fight is actually a pretty good fight. It's something that the fans been calling for that's realistic, because a lot of people understand that, you know, when it comes to the business side, you can't just guarantee a Shakur fight or even a Devin fight. So if they're gonna do it the safe way and fight in house, Frank will be the best option over those guys that's over there, to be honest, because it kills two birds with one stone. The Tank doesn't fight Black Americans native narrative, and the Tank, you know, needs to stay active narrative. Kills two of them with one stone, and I feel like that's the best option for Gervonta Davis outside of Shakur Stevenson and the Devin Haney's.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Oh, you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm back on her now. It was a little button on here that I must have accidentally didn't hit earlier
Okay.
when you came in. But go ahead.
That's my piece on that. It's just that I feel like it's the best in-house fight to make outside of Shakur and Devin. And I know a lot of people feel like, oh, well, you know, he's not as experienced as Tank. I feel like where he doesn't have experience, the athleticism and the natural ability and the power and the speed can make up for that. Because if he started late, to me, he looks like a fast learner.
Right.
The last dude he beat, I know people say, oh, he had a hard fight. The last person he beat, to my knowledge, he was an Olympian. So if you got a guy who's never been to the Olympics, he's starting off boxing late and he's whooping Olympians in the pro, what does that say about him?
Right.
That's just my thoughts on that.
So you're 100% okay with that with Tank, right?
I'm 100% fine with it. I'm actually glad that he made this decision. And me being an artist, you know, myself, I know the fans are going to gravitate to that fight. So I got to get working and make me some illustrations for that fight.
Right. Okay. Well, the thing about it is, hey, I can't wait till you make those. Make sure that you we get to see those things coming right on out.
Yep.
So
on artmanapparel.com. Artmanapparel.com.
Okay, you can put it in the what's name section when you get a chance too.
Yeah, let me do that right.
Yeah, put it on in the chat, bro. Put it on in the chat. But yeah, so let me ask you this. So do you think that PBC should keep doing in-house? Do you think they should reach out to like the Zone and these other places and see if they can, so these fighters can start fighting other competition too?
First things first, he needs to get Frank Martin out of here first. And then if he could, the next option got to be Dev. It has to be Dev, especially if Dev run through Garcia.
Which I predict that. How do you think that's going to turn out?
I feel like it's going to be competitive for the first 3 rounds, and then Dev is going to have fun with him in there. And then it's just going to cruise to a decision. He might even drop him. And if he's feeling like it, he couldn't even stop him.
Devin is not stopping anybody. Oh, please.
There she is.
There she is. At 140, that's a different
story.
Because
please. Devin's not.
The fight with Regis, we all seen it. If he would have pushed the button, he could have got that man out of there. But he just stuck to the game plan and cruised to a decision.
And that's what he does. And that's what he will do.
But one thing
unless Garcia's chin is up in the air, as it usually is, he has a chance then. So,
but you do know, Ryan always takes a step back. He takes a step straight back. It's like, dude, stop doing that. That's how he got knocked down the last time.
He does the same thing. It's like, hopefully, the coach has helped him. Derek has helped him with that.
Do you think that Ryan needs
too far gone? Ryan,
you think he's too far gone for that? Let me ask you this, Dion. Do you think that Devin not Devin, but Ryan should have at least one more fight or 2 more fights before he fights Devin? Or you think he just needs more?
Of course. He needs more work. He definitely needs more work.
He'll never be ready.
I mean, I don't think he's up to it, but I mean, to make it a little bit more competitive, he should work a little harder so he's not humiliated to that degree. Because they're in different leagues for sure. You know,
I
no
agree
matter
with you on
what you
that.
want to say about Devin Haney, he's an elite fighter. He's skilled. He's very good. But
What did you think about him in that Regis Prograis? Did he get a little more respect out of you guys when he fought Prograis?
no, not for me.
You didn't?
I just find Regis just doesn't do it for me. He's very awkward. He just doesn't. I mean, no.
You know what I like about that fight? I watch everything before that fight. People were saying, "Hey, you know, Devin, he struggled against the southpaw. So him going up to fight a stronger southpaw, his chin gonna get tested." We heard boxing analyst Tim Bradley tell the world that, "Hey man, Devin's gonna get tested. He's gonna get hurt." And Dev went out there and styled him.
Oh please! I wasn't paying any attention to Tim Bradley on that. I knew
Yeah,
he'd do exactly what he did with that guy.
exactly.
But it was a great performance, and it proved my theory right that once he moves up in weight, you'll start seeing that punching power, because he was able to drop him and stumble him a couple times in that fight.
Mm-hmm.
You still think he's pillow fisted, Dion?
I mean,
I put it like
he has some pop. He has some pop. He has some pop, but pop, that's not, power. But I mean, I think most men who fight can, what they say, 5 pounds of pressure. So I mean, he does what he has to do. He's a skilled boxer. I mean, we know what Devin Haney is.
Yeah. Do you think
if he's with someone that can really bang, I don't think it's the same. I really don't. But at this point, I do have 2 years ago, I would have thought that Tank would have been way more competitive with him. But at this point, I don't know. I don't know. Tank, you know how much I love Tank, show, but
Right.
he's dwindling for me. His personal life, the opponents he's been choosing or they've selected for him, it's just not sharpening him enough for me. And I feel that Devin Haney is definitely being sharpened. I think he is, naturally talented, very skilled, and then Tank, I don't know, but Tank is a dog. Tank is very calculating in the ring. But Devin can definitely outpoint him.
Devin's gonna put that stick on him and keep his distance.
He's gonna outpoint him. But if what would happen is that if Devin decides to, allow his ego to make him bang a little because he has a point to prove because of their history together, then that gives Tank a little bit more of a shot because Tank definitely has trouble with boxers. But if you make some mistakes, Tank can definitely touch you. And when he touches you, the power is that's power. When he touches you, you see the decrease. He takes away something when he touches you. And if he can touch you again, he's going to take something else away from you. So if he has the ability to touch him, it'll be more competitive and he'll have a chance. But I definitely believe that Devin can outpoint him for sure. And would probably win because of that.
Yeah, I think that they've given Devin enough time to catch up. Devin was a little young kid. He was a little naive. He was a little slow, a little inexperienced. That's what it was, basically. But now Devin done caught up. What is y'all thoughts? I want to ask both of you guys this question. If Shakur Stevenson and Devin could come to agreed upon weight and fight, which one do you think would win and why at this point in time? Go ahead, Art.
I love that. I love that so much. Oh my God, I love that fight.
I think that fight will happen at 147.
You think you think Shakur will make it up there to that?
Yeah, I think he'll make it up there. And honestly, I feel like that fight will be competitive. but I think Dev's gonna win that fight, and here's the reason why. I feel like Shakur Stevenson, he still has that Olympic style, where it's like you got to score on points, and you're not really trying to go for the kill or even trying to engage. You're just trying to touch and get out of there. I feel like he
Mhm.
brought that to the pro game. Meanwhile, Dev, he got it out the mud early and experienced, the pro game early, fighting in Mexico and then working your way up to fighting top contenders, then fighting champions, undisputed. I feel like he has more tools in his bag, when it comes to the pro game. And
Mhm.
one thing about Dev, I feel like he just knows how to win. He knows how to win because he's been doing this pro stuff for a long time, you know?
Mm.
And that's my theory.
So what about you, Dion? What's your thoughts on that? If they fought today at an agreed upon weight and they both could make it comfortably, who would you give it to?
Well, the last showing for Shakur, that was like, oh,
Did you go
so
hold that against him? Did you go hold that against him?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I would give it to Devin.
Mm.
I
You
would
know
give it to
what?
Devin.
I'll tell you what my thoughts is on that. Before I would have gave it to Shakur Stevenson a little while ago, but I think at any weight class that's above 35, when you get to 140 or 147, I don't think that Shakur Stevenson, with his hands being like Floyd's, being a little brittle, I don't think he's gonna have enough power to really stop those other guys. I just don't see
Yeah,
it. I had to see him fight next and be really impressed by that.
yeah. That's the same for me. I would have to be super impressed. I do like Shakur's. Shakur got a little more grit in him than Devin to me.
It,
Um,
it, it seems like it from the surface.
yeah, he seems like he has just a little like I mean, like I've seen him stand his ground, stay in pocket and exchange, and I was like, wow, like oh, okay, he didn't just run.
Right.
Um, actually like him on the inside. I like him
Who
on the
who
inside. I find
Devin or Shakur?
no Shakur. I like when he
Right,
fights on the inside. I think he should fight more on the inside.
right, right.
Um, but a lot of times he doesn't. I would have 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I would have said, okay, I'm feeling Shakur, but how he's developing, I'm with Art Man. That's your name, Art Man. I'm with
Mm-hmm.
him. I think the development of Devin Haney has been excellent.
Yeah. I think they let Devin catch up. The same thing they did with Boots. I think that right now they done waited too long for these guys, and I think these guys have caught up, if not surpassed, a lot of the competition. They should have caught Devin early. And that's why I said Ryan should have fought Devin back before Devin fought Jojo Diaz. I think that's when it would have been a more competitive fight. But right now,
Hmm.
I think with all this hell that Devin has went through, I think that's where the whole problem is going to come in at now.
He got it out.
Yeah.
He got it out, but early, man. Traveling to Australia, man. Have you seen the
Mhm.
animals in Australia? They got all
Those
crazy
Campbell spiders and
bugs,
shit. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
all that. And
Yeah.
you telling me he had to fight there 2 times? Man, come on now.
Yeah.
I mean,
And then
I'm sorry, Cambosis, though. Come on. I mean, I appreciate what he did, but Cambosis is just really not like that.
yeah, I never thought Campos was like it, but I'll tell you the thing that I gave Devin credit for. He went across seas to fight, but the other thing is he fought looking like Skeletor. You know what I'm saying? It's like he was at the weakest state he could be.
Oh, I got a question for y'all.
Hmm?
Do
Okay.
y'all give? Would y'all give Dev more credit for beating Cambosis or beating Tio?
Tio.
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 Why?
I said Tio.
And why is that?
Teofimo Lopez, although he is bizarre, the boy can really fight.
Mm-hmm.
He can fight. He is a natural fighter. Cambosis is a fluke. Like, I'm sorry. He's scrappy, but he's light. He's light. He's light. He's a lightweight. And I mean that plain and simple, but he's scrappy. He's a scrappy little guy. he's scrappy. Like he's
How
scrappy.
Luke, can
Loma
you?
is gonna spank him. Lomachenko is going to spank him.
Who Cambosis?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I believe so too.
Oh
I believe,
yeah. He's gonna work him. He's
yeah.
gonna work him overtime.
But the I
Tiafimo,
mhm.
if his mind was solid, I think he would be a great fighter. I would put him in way high. I would put him up there. But his
Mhm.
mental aptitude, there's something wrong mentally. The father isn't developing him. He needs more development. But natural aptitude, he's better. He's
I'll
better
tell you
than
what
Cambosos.
I'll tell you what I think. I like Teofimo Lopez, but I think Teofimo Lopez fights to his competition. Every time he has a fighter that he think he can beat, he doesn't do a good showing. But when it's a fighter
I
that he has
agree.
to really come on out to, I think that he really digs deep, he focuses, and he cuts out all the foolishness, and he fights really
Mhm.
hard. So that's why I
I
say he
agree.
won't take Devin lightly. He'll probably put up a better fight with Devin than he put it with Cambosis. I think with Cambosis, he thought that was going to be a walk in the park. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Cambosis
Yeah.
was there to give it his all. And T.O. just mentally, whatever he was going through outside the ring, bled inside the ring.
He's mentally very weak. It appears that his relationship with his father is to his detriment. I think sometimes the father-son situation can really be an issue for many boxers.
Mhm,
Many
mhm.
boxers. Sometimes it's a plus, but sometimes that personal, is just ugh.
But see, sometimes boxers have to listen to their coach and their trainer, and I think there's a lack of respect for him and his dad with each other.
Even
And I think they crossed the line, and I think that's where a lot of the problem come in at.
I
Yeah,
don't think his
and
father has the ability to develop him. I
I'm
don't. I
guys.
when I listen to his father in the corner, I'm like, okay, what are you saying? He's like, go out
Mhm.
there and kick his ass. Go out there and kick his ass. Fuck that shit. Like what are you doing? Give him some real instruction.
Right, 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 right.
So he's on
Yeah,
his own. He's
yeah.
on his own.
Yeah, Gerald said he thinks T.O. lost that last fight, but T.O.
He
did.
did. He
He did.
did.
He
He
did.
did. He lost it. He didn't have to. He didn't have to.
Right,
It's like
right.
you said. He thinks there's something wrong with him in his brain. It's
Yeah, I think
mental.
what it is, I think he takes time off and whatever's going on, like that whole outing, the whole thing that went on with his wife and the kid, that whole situation. I
Oh
just think
yeah,
it's a whole toxic thing that's going on outside the ring that's bleeding in.
and she was there for that last fight, looking
Yeah.
bizarre. I mean, it just looks really weird. The father, he looked like he had a bag of dope before, like he took a sniff or some dope. Like for real, it was really weird. Like she
She's
looked
like
like
he got
she
a
had
bag.
Xanax.
Right,
It
right.
was just really odd. I can imagine that. Like if you could be a fly on the wall, it would be very interesting in that household. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy what could go on outside the ring. You know what I mean? If you could be behind closed doors and see what's going on, I guarantee you, like
Mhm.
you said, it's a circus. And that
Yeah.
stuff affects fighters. Because look at the Charlo brothers. I mean, all
Hmm.
the crazy stuff that they got going on is just it's taking over the ring.
It's
It just is.
destroying. It's destroying all that potential,
Mhm.
all that gift. So much promise. That situation actually saddens me. Because I thought they'd do way better, and it really bothers me with Jamal because Jamal always seemed just like a hothead, you know. But
Mhm.
Jamal appeared to be grounded. I remember watching a segment with Jamal on Hot Boxing with Mike Tyson, and
Mhm.
he almost seemed timid and clean cut. Mike Tyson seemed almost like a bad influence. Like he seemed uncomfortable around Mike puffing. Mike laid the drugs out. He's like, nah, like I don't partake. And then to see him on a live high off Molly, it was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, what happened to you in 2 years?
Yeah. But I'll tell you what, a lot of boxers when they get on with Mike Tyson seems like he's that fighter that could just snap at any time. It's like a healthy respect for Mike Tyson. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because everybody goes on there and listen to Mike, and they look at Mike like, "What the hell is this dude gonna say next?" Or
Mike is
is he
like,
gonna trip out? You know what I mean?
he's like, "Did you eat? Did you have the tug? Did you have the tug?" He'll ask him some outlandish question, but no, he still seemed very grounded. He was calm, you know.
Right,
Mike challenged him on some stuff. Like Mike was like, "No, you just need to go in there and you just need to tell him suck my dick and do that." You know, you know how Mike tells him. He's pushing him to just do whatever. He's like, "No, like there's politics behind this." He stood his ground with Mike. Like, "No, there's some things that happen behind it." He's like, "No, if you want that shit, you just go and you tell him you're his mother." You know, like that kind of thing. So
exactly.
He seemed so clean. Like I watched him as I enjoy watching fighters, their reactions, you know, how they maneuver outside of the ring. And he just seemed like such a clean cut guy. And to me, it seems as though his relationship with his brother, his twin, it's like his Achilles heel.
Yeah.
That's what I believe, you know. The relationship with the woman, between his relationship with Jamel and his wife, it's just pulling at him.
Yeah, because after the fight, that's what he said. He said, "Man, my brother wasn't here. Can somebody give him a message?" It seemed like he was hurting inside, like he wanted to break down and cry. They're both going through some mental stuff. And Gerald Slay said he don't think somebody slipped him something. He said, but he seemed like he took the wrong thing. It's like something else is going wrong behind, you know what I mean, maybe something. But I do know that, you know, is what's going on in his family life. They don't turn that stuff off. Like you said, it's always an arguing and all that kind of stuff going on. And then both of them had these assault charges and all this other stuff. And then they're not speaking. So I think both of those two guys are hot headed, and it's like two bulls in a pen. They just can't. I don't think, you know what I mean? So
his brother is himself. That's him. So it's almost like fighting within yourself. And then remember, your wife is your other half. And you become one with that person. So if those two are divided, it's almost like he's split right down the middle, and it's destroying him. But I was very happy with his last outing. He was rusty as hell, but he still performed. You could see that he still had some of it in him, you know? So he just has to get back at it and cut the vices.
I think he did really good with Jose Benavidez. Jose Benavidez, I mean, he went there, he could have done better, but I like that he got all his rounds in.
Yeah, he needed
effectively, it. Yeah, he needed it. And I saw it, I watched it, and he was like, you know, dude, you know, he played it smooth. He did pretty good. He didn't rush it. He went all the way through with it. But, you know.
David Benavidez, he's just so, is that his name, David? What's his
Jose.
name?
He fought Jose. Yeah,
Jose, not David.
The
Jose.
older brother. Yeah, he fought the older brother, the older but smaller brother.
The smaller one. Kickstand. I call him Kickstand because he had that bad leg when he got shot.
Yep. When he first came in, that's when he fought Crawford. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, and Gerald said his speech is totally different since his hiatus. He said that he came out, he used to articulate himself a lot better. You know what I mean? I think that a lot of these, but I'll tell you one of the problems I think that they're having. People attack them so much because they're always talking stuff and coming, but that's who they are, right? But you see how Derek James has worked with Jermell Charlo and trying to calm him down and do all that. And then this last fight when he fought Canelo, he was happy. He wasn't talking crazy. And he didn't fight like himself. And you know, sometimes it's that mental thing that they need. You can't take them out of their element. You got to let them be who they are. It's like, you remember when Mike Tyson years ago, when he was, I'll do this, I'll destroy the world. You know, he just talked all this crazy stuff, right?
Yeah.
But the minute they put him on that medication that calmed him down, and he was fighting people and rubbing sweat off their face and being real sweet, he wasn't the same Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You need to be yourself. You know, you have to be yourself because that's when the best you comes out. And I definitely feel that Jamel, oh gosh. I mean, I could barely take Jamel anyway. Like, although I do think both the twins are talented, but he's a lot.
I like Jermell. I like the Tony Harrison fight. I like how he came back.
That was great. That was great.
I thought that was excellent. The Brian Castano fights, I thought he won both
Oh,
of
that was
those.
great.
The second one, he
I
really
gave
showed you.
the first one to Castano.
Oh, did you? Did you? It
Yeah.
was close, but I had
gave it to Castano.
I think he did a little, just a hair more. Just like on the Tony Harrison fight, the first fight, I think Jamel did a little bit more. And in the second fight, he pulled away. I think what it was is he was too busy trying to knock these guys out. The first fight, second fight, he settled down. He listened to Derek James. He let it come to him and got it off. This Canelo fight, bruh, I didn't like that at all. There was nothing terrible about that fight. I was like, dude, why are you even in here? You just wasted all of our time.
He made me really can't stand him. Like,
yeah.
And all that crap he's talking about fighting Terrence Crawford. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
I would actually be afraid. That would actually make me sad because then I'd be like, he put Errol and Jamel in the dirt.
Wouldn't that be crazy? But Jamel, oh my God. I think I'd had to take a little bit off boxing for. No, I'm just playing.
Listen, no. What I was trying to tell you last night. So I kid you not, I stopped watching boxing for a minute. Like after Errol Spence and I don't know, it was the weirdest thing that emotionally that fight did something to me. Like I didn't want to see boxing.
Yeah.
I do this every day. I was just to think of it.
Let me ask you this. Do you think the next fight will be more competitive if they fight? A lot of people say they don't think they're going to fight. But what I'm hearing is that they're still fighting, but they're trying to keep the public out of it. And so they're saying they're not going to make the fight. So I think that's the word that they're spreading. But I don't know how true that is. It could be the fight could be off. But if they do fight again, what is your thoughts on that?
I believe that there was definitely something wrong with Errol. I do not know what it was, but it was bad. And it was so bad that I don't know if there's anything he can do with Terrence Crawford.
Right.
Like that fight blew my mind. Like it blew my mind. Like too. I almost feel like I could fight Terrence Crawford better than Errol Spence did. Like, damn. Like what the hell was happening? Like it was like I don't think it's I don't think so.
Right.
And then this is the other problem too. I know you said that you felt like Errol, had to clear his head, but this is part of the problem. When you take a defeat like that, you can't allow it to shake you and discourage you to the degree where you don't show your face, you hide out, you have all these people who love you and support you. And you're so broken from it that you're like, forget everything.
That's what it seems. When he went away, it's like, come on, Earl, come out and say something. But, and I know he said he don't make excuses, but this is what I thought too. I hate it because I don't like excuses either, correct? He clearly didn't seem like the same Earl. And it was one of Terrence Crawford's easiest fights he's had, right? So if the rumors are right that he passed out or broken rib, whatever they're putting out there, right? Something needs to surface, because if you don't let that surface, then nobody's going to want to pay to see that next fight.
I don't want to see it.
See, Terrence Crawford got mad. He's like, oh, making excuses, no need to do this. So Terrence is taking it like as a blow, correct? But if you come out, let's say you come out and there was a problem and the public saw it, where we felt that, okay, that could be the reason why Earl lost as bad as he did. So it stands to give him another chance, right? But if you say that was the Earl at the top of his game and he got beat that bad, then what are we talking here? There's no need to see the second fight. Nobody's going to buy it. So what do? It's kind of a conundrum.
It's like, was Terrence just that freaking good? I'm like, what in the hell? He was like the Matrix, and I couldn't even believe, and I was all Errol.
Yeah.
So Errol. I thought he was gonna touch him and do everything he said he could do. And
Right.
I'm blown away. I'm still depressed by it, but I don't think it's worth seeing.
Oh, yeah. I'm hoping this is what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that there was a problem and Earl is going to fix that problem. I don't know what it was, but just the look in his eye when he was coming in that dressing room and when he
Oh
went out
wow.
there to
His eyes.
the ring, it was just, yeah, he looked sleepy, looked like he wasn't there. He was
He was,
just like, it didn't seem like the same Earl. So I was like, you
but
know,
what was weird about it was that the day before he didn't look like that.
yeah, right.
Like
I
what
don't know.
happened between the day before they were, like what happened?
Right. I don't know. I
His
don't
eyes
know.
didn't look like that. Did they slip him something? I'm like, I don't know. Did
I
somebody?
don't know. But I've heard two things. You know, they said that what's the name up there at Snack said that Earl was up there running up the mountain and they said he about passed out. And when
Yeah.
you run that high in the elevation, like it does do something to you and get you tired. And they said
Mhm.
that he could have been recovering from that, but then had to make weight that time too, and that drained him too. They said that's just too much. And then
Yeah.
somebody tried to say he had a rib injury. But if he ran up that mountain in 112-degree weather in Vegas, you're used to the Texas heat, but then you get up here and run. And I could imagine Earl doing that because he probably feel like he's Mr. Invincible. But
Mhm.
I hate to keep talking like that because I hate excuses. So at the end of the day, Earl took a butt whooping really bad. And I'm just hoping that something was affecting him and that it will be a better fight next time. Not saying he'll win it, but
Yeah.
I don't think it'll be that easy because Sean Porter did better. Hell, Mean Machine did better. Terrence Crawford fighting on BLK, that guy did better than Spence. Spence did absolutely nothing
Nothing. It was
besides
like
get up off the mat.
Avanesian fought him better.
Oh my goodness.
Avanesium hit him. At least he hit him. This guy couldn't. He was so delayed. Like it was bizarre. Definitely not the same man who fought Ugas.
Fought anybody. Hell, I would have been
It-
happy to see him fight like he fought Mikey Garcia. That was not, none of that performance was good at all. And it wasn't like Terrence was doing something. Terrence is a
Special.
really good fighter, right? But
Yeah.
Earl wasn't doing anything to make Terrence do something special. It was like Terrence was in there with a rookie sparring. It was like he was holding conversations outside the ring, like
But he did.
he
But
looked
he
surprised.
looked. Yeah. He. It was so easy. But no, it was like it was crazy. Like, like just thinking about it, Sean, I'm like, oh my God, that was crazy.
Yeah, Gerald Slay said Earl seemed to have a problem with his gait. I guess coming out the gate.
Yeah. His gait, meaning his stance, like just standing, even on his feet. Yeah, his gait was off. His balance was off. His timing was off. He was so slow.
Yeah.
He was
It was.
so slow.
It was. And then when he finally connected one with Terrence, it wasn't even a connect. It was like, you didn't do anything. You didn't do anything,
nothing.
bro.
And he was saying he was gonna chop him down, but chop it down and do all these things. And it was like, wow. He just looked so weak. It was really bad.
He did. And every time he got hit, he was down. It was like, dude, it was nothing there. But the only thing that it showed is Earl has a lot of heart. And it's hard to beat a guy with a lot of heart. But Earl, he really wasn't dodging. Terrence wasn't even doing nothing amazing. I was like, but Terrence was precise.
Oh, that's what I was about to say.
Right,
no, that was he was dead on the button.
Yeah, he was dead on the
button.
button.
Was beautiful. That was beautiful because you have some people who can't do what he did to Errol at all. There's some people they're just that weak as fighters. He was very exacting.
Yeah.
With him.
He was on point. And
it was brutal.
Terrence was more prepared for Earl with some other stuff because Terrence was big, dude. He was big and ripped.
And strong.
Yeah, he was.
I was so shocked. It was like he was bigger. At first, I thought he was going to be smaller because one of the meets, his face looked so sunken in. When he rehydrated, he looked strong.
He did. He looked good. He looked good. And
He
Gerald
really
said
did.
he was cool. That Earl was cool with Danny Garcia, but even with Ugas, he stepped over his punches and a lot of things he didn't do before. Yeah,
Agreed.
yeah, he
Agreed.
did. He did.
Agreed.
But
And
now,
he's slurred. He's very slurred. Like his speech
yeah.
is
He's
very
flat.
slurred. If you take him back, say 4 years ago, and you hear Errol speak, he was very like quick with his words a little bit. Now he's like just very
He comes and
slurred.
goes. Sometimes you hear
Yeah.
him, he's just fine, and sometimes you hear him. But Earl needs to bring his presence back. His whole presence has been gone. You know what I mean? And I understand he's trying to stay out of the limelight, doesn't want to be out drinking. He's trying to be a family man, farm man, and all that kind of stuff. But we need to see that old Earl. You know what I mean? Because that's who make
Who
you
he
who
is.
you are. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think sometimes that's the key. I think you hit the nail on the head with him. When he was doing him, he seemed to have a lot of confidence.
Right.
And it's like the confidence, that calmness took away that confidence that he had.
Yeah. Hey, Gerald said Earl's superpower was his balance. He had bounce, his gait was off, and he had a wide power stance. It's off.
Yep. I agree, Jerome.
Yeah. You're right about that, bro. You're definitely right about that. But the thing about it is that I'll tell you one of the other things I didn't like too. Like I said, once again, it's making other excuses, but I have to say it. Is that he should have had Blu-ray still training with Blu-ray, because Blu-ray had him really good and powerful. These other guys, they were watching how he ate, and they were trying to, they was getting his meals and stuff together. And so for this next round, they said he hired Blu-ray back again. So hopefully, I just think it's a lot of that stuff that probably got to him. He probably felt weak. Earl probably don't 100% know what the hell was wrong. Because for him to come in and fire those guys and get Blu-ray is what they said he did. But Blu-ray had him powerful and stuff. So I don't know. I don't even know. They said he still had a problem making that weight towards the end. But I was like, these guys have been watching what he eat the whole time. So should he be right there on it? They was like, no, he still had a problem making it. I was like,
he said himself that he was in the best shape of his life. He was eating well. He had stopped doing the fat camps. But my husband said that he saw him and he was big. He was like, there's no way. He said that man was like about 180, 90 pounds.
Wow.
I said, well, no. I had seen him on social media and he looked like he was about 160 something maybe.
Yeah, he looked good. When I saw him a few times, when I saw him on there, I was like, he looks good. He looked like he's on par to be on weight. But somewhere towards that last little bit, as they were coming in for the last little bit, it just seemed like things with Earl changed. Terrence Crawford seemed like his spirit was growing and growing. You remember at that press conference, Terrence was like, yeah, we can get active. And Earl was just sitting over there like, yeah, man, he's all emotional. Earl just really wasn't.
Earl also gave him too much respect.
Yeah, Earl did. I didn't like
too much respect. Me either.
I didn't like that.
You're supposed to be like that. I'm like that.
Yeah.
Don't ever become. It's this two men. It's like it was like Terrence is definitely an alpha.
Yeah.
He's an alpha. He's an alpha.
And it was none of that. And Earl didn't have that black Air Force One swag. You know what I mean? When he put on the black Air Force Ones, it's supposed to be some serious business happening. But Earl
with the little thing and the little ponytail in the back of his head, that little thing he used to have, the little shag.
Yeah, bring that back. Bring that shag back.
But like Jarrell said, I love the way he used to, like when he would step back, he kept distance beautifully. And I don't know, it's like he just can't move the same anymore. He's very clumsy, very clumsy.
It seemed like in that fight, it was off. And with Ugas, I think it was his timing was off. Because like y'all said, the first few rounds, it was a little bit off. But towards the 4th, 5th round, the old Earl came out. Well, then Earl just went to work. When he
Mhm.
when he went to work on Ugas, it was
Oh,
on point. It was like when Ugas stunned him or when he dropped that mouthpiece out, it was like a different Earl woke up. It was like, there
yeah,
you go.
yeah, yeah. And that's who I thought would show up with Terrence Crawford. And I thought that Terrence Crawford had never been in the ring with that.
Yeah, me
So
too.
I thought that that Errol would touch him,
Mm-hmm.
but oh my goodness.
But that Earl
He
didn't
was
show up. That Earl was not
mm-mm,
there. That wasn't the same Earl.
no, no.
And it scares me. Does that mean Earl needs to go ahead and retire? You know what I mean? That's the
Yeah.
whole thing. Is it something wrong with Earl or did something happen in that training camp?
I
You know
think
what I mean?
there's something wrong with him.
You think
And
so?
neurological issues,
Mm-hmm.
you can be fine. For instance, look at Wendy Williams, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
3 years ago, this woman made a living speaking, talking. I mean, wit on top of wit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
2024,
Mm-hmm.
look at this woman. So you
Yeah.
can definitely lose yourself quickly. Your health can deteriorate very quickly. And I think some of that is deterioration with him.
Yeah, but with Wendy Williams, cocaine is a hell of a drug.
No, I think she has some other neurological things happening with her
They
too.
say
Yeah, I think she's had
say,
the cocaine, but I think
yeah,
there's something else going on too with
she could be
her.
doing pills too. Because 50 was going in kind of hard on her, and they was kind of letting a lot of that stuff slip.
That
That
look
Wendy
in her
was a
eyes,
lot of stuff.
that
Yeah.
look in her eyes, that there's something else wrong. When you see her eyes are wide open, that's not cocaine. I mean,
Yeah.
she used to sniff before. That's a neurological thing.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
and something's wrong with
neurological.
her. Something's wrong bad with her health because when you look at her legs, how her legs and stuff. Wendy Williams is
Hmm.
not that old, but her legs look like the legs of an 80-year-old woman. You know what I mean? So there's
Yeah.
something health wise is going on with her, and but hopefully, I
And
just
you
hope
can
Earl
hear
better.
when if I don't know if you've seen her. She's come out a bit and did some interviews. Like I think she was
Mhm.
trying to do like a podcast on YouTube.
Yeah,
And when she would speak, it's like she couldn't gather her words. She couldn't
mm,
recall things well. I mean, this is a woman that spoke off the cuff every day for most of her life, but in a very
right,
short period of
right.
time, she's lost some of her cognitive skills. So I think that when you're doing what they do, boxers, you're
Hmm.
taking those hits to your head, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hopefully, but you know what? One thing I can say about it is, and this is what I'm trying to rest it on, they will listen to Earl for for as much as they can. But I think, and this just opinion, just an opinion. The only thing that I'm kind of relying on is that I think Al really cares for those fighters. And I think Earl's dad is in Earl's life like his best friend, like he call him his
Mhm,
shadow. I think that if it
mhm.
was something health wise that was really, 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 truly wrong with Earl, I think they would go ahead and start pulling him back. His mom, because Earl really respects his dad and he respects his mom. And
He
I think
does.
that they on the inside and they really knows that if it was something really neurological that was messing with him, and really at that, I think that they would really be pushing him to, come on, Earl, take a step back. It's time. It's time to pull it out. You know what I mean? I would
Yeah,
think, and I think Al and them would do it too. But for them to be trying to push this fight and let this fight go through, I would think Earl is pretty much they know what the problem could be. I
yeah.
think. I could be wrong. I just keep my fingers crossed because I hate for a good champ like that to go out like that.
I think I definitely think that that's a good point. But the other side of it, I think, is that when a person, when this is their dream, this is their
Mhm.
life, this is what they love, sometimes it's hard to deter a person, you know,
Yeah.
even their health, because this is they're defined. And clearly, he's really defined by being a champion.
Yeah.
What he didn't take this hit with Terrence lightly at all. It hurt him deeply. So
Yeah.
his mindset towards boxing, that's heavy.
Yeah. But
That's a heavy.
one of the biggest things is Earl is leaving us all here to speculate. And used to Earl would come out and you would see something from Earl. But Earl hadn't been doing that for the past couple of years. It's kind of like Earl just goes in boxes, like he doesn't even want. I mean, I know he likes boxing, but it's like he's so disconnected. Or is he just disconnected on social media? I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is.
He owed us more, though. He owed us more.
I agree. I
He
agree.
owed us way more.
I
I mean,
agree.
I was a fan, diehard, like
Yeah.
diehard fan, and
Yeah.
he left his fans hanging, and for
Yeah.
that, I'm not interested. I do wish him well, because
Yeah.
I think he was great, but I'm not interested in seeing him fight.
But well, you know what? It's time for the almost the changing of the guards. We're right here at the next couple of years, 2 to 3 years. It should be a whole new changing of the guard. All the old guys need to be going and getting out. That's the Keith Thurmans. That's go ahead and get Danny Garcia out the way. Earl needs to be going
Yeah.
in. Terrence Crawford
Mm.
needs to be heading out. Then you got Boots. But hell, who is in Boots' era that's going to even
Oh,
challenge?
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna
Oh,
tell
please
you
tell me.
who's good. Gary Antoine Russell.
Yeah, but he can't deal with Boots.
What?
He can't deal.
Yes, he can.
Nah,
You
he's at
know
140.
the one that's a
Yeah.
welterweight.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he
Well,
can hang with
he
Boots.
fights at 140. Gary Antoine fights at 140. He did.
No, not the one, not the little one, not the one who took over his father's place. No,
No, not the one at 130. Not him. Not little. No, not him.
little one. Okay,
No. The one that kept trying to challenge Devin at 140.
he fought He challenged. I'm not familiar with him challenging.
No,
Devin.
he's been calling Devin out for years
The
because what
one is
happened was
Antoine.
Gary Russell. Gary is 130, right?
Yeah, the
127,
smaller one.
127.
It's a couple of them though. There's
Yeah.
a few of them. This
Yeah.
one is a 147 pounder. The one I'm thinking of.
Okay, but the one of the brothers is 140. Antoine Russell is 140.
Oh, Antoine. I think that's the one. Antoine.
Yeah,
That's his
he's
name.
140. He's 140 because he was telling Devin to come up to 140 and fight him. Now I don't know if he moved up any higher than that.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought I saw him fight at 147.
Not unless he snuck one in past me. But that's
Yeah.
what it was at there because he was challenging Devin to come up.
Now he
Yeah.
has pop. I'm sorry. I think he
Oh, he
can
does. He does.
He got some pop. I think he's someone, and they have a history too. They have a history with one another. I think, and they both Philly boys too.
Yeah, but with Boots, man, ain't nothing like Boots. Boots is an amazing fighter. He's one of them rare fighters.
I think Boots definitely is. I will say this. I've seen Boots where you could see he was still a little green. And then I've seen moments where he looked like a superhero. So
yeah.
He's kind of like in between.
Yeah.
I think it depends on who you have in front of him. I do see that he does have some challenges when he has to think more. All of the superhero goes out the window when he has to think. It's not as natural for him.
But to me, here lately, the last 2 fights that he's been into, he's turned it up so much. I think the only person that could probably stop him is Terrence Crawford. He'd be the only person that I see under 154 that could beat Boots would be Crawford. And the only reason why I'm not saying Spence, because I don't know the whole thing with Spence right now. You know what I mean? I don't know his health issues and all that. So I'm just pushing him out the way because of that.
I would agree.
But other than that, there's nobody can beat Boots. There's nobody. And I'm not saying that Crawford can beat Boots, but I'm just saying
I think Crawford can beat Boots. I think Crawford could beat him all day, every day.
I think right there, that would be the fireworks fight that we would love to see. I think is amazing. And listen, you can't switch on Boots. You can't switch on Crawford. Both of them can fight with either hand. I honestly think that Boots
is not as sharp as Terrence Crawford.
I don't know. Boots is.
Mm.
Boots is sharp,
He's
but you're
sharp.
right. But I think
He's green.
Terrence
He's still
Crawford is a
green in some
little bit
areas.
more. Crawford is more
And his
polished.
IQ is crazier. See, Boots is fighting lesser competition, so he can definitely show out.
Yeah, but I think Boots' feet is a little better than Crawford's. But Crawford is right. I mean, you know what? Don't let me say that. I would just have to see these two guys fight. And the reason why I say
I
that is
think
because
Crawford can beat
they're
him.
both. I think they're both amazing. I do, but Terrence is more proven than Boots, so I would go with Terrence.
I'm gonna go with Terrence Crawford.
But I would
After
love to see that fight. That's
Terrence,
the fight.
after Terrence is showing my guy, he could be anyone. I don't care. Like that dude, oh gosh, he won my respect.
The person that I think Terrence would have a problem with, and I think Boots would have a little bit of a problem with, is the old Keith Thurman.
Oh man, the old Keith Thurman.
The old Keith
Oh,
Thurman, they would have a problem with that because
yeah.
Keith's body would do what Keith wanted to do. Keith
And
right now, they know Keith gets hurt to the body a little bit, so
they're
they're
gonna
going to
tear him. Tim
Yeah.
Zoo is gonna tear his ribs up.
Yeah,
He's
he
gonna
could.
try to. He's gonna take. He's gonna take. But I was so proud of Keith when he fought. When he took Mario Barrios to school.
Oh yeah, you like that?
Oh yeah, he took him to school.
Yeah.
Because Mario is very scrappy and likable, and he's game. He's a game fighter. So to see, a young game guy step up to try to fight an old timer, because Keith Thurman definitely appears to be older than he is. He just seems so old to me.
Yeah, but you know the thing that I like about Keith Thurman? Keith Thurman is like a in the ring coach. The same way Peyton Manning was an on field, or some of these guys that have so much knowledge. Keith has a lot of knowledge when it comes to boxing. He really does.
He should do
break down the
commentary. He shouldn't fight. He should be a boxing brain.
Yeah.
Like that should be behind someone coaching or on the screen speaking, commentating, because he gives it up. I'm a Keith Thurman fan. I hope he wins. I just hope that he can find a place again.
Yeah.
I pray. I mean, it's kind of sus with him fighting Tim Zoo, young, powerful. I mean, he definitely would outclass him in his heyday.
Right.
Who knows?
If he loses this fight, then Keith needs to go ahead and pack it up and go ahead and go on to
Well, he can't get any other fights anyway, so it's over for him.
Well, he could have fought Boots. He could have fought Boots. He just chose not to fight Boots.
Oh yeah, he don't need to fight.
You know what I'm saying? But if he gets past Tim Zoo, then it's back on and popping with Keith Thurman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's still young. What is he, like 35?
30, 35? Yeah, he's not 35. But he's got about 2 more years in him. But but the best thing about Keith Thurman is that he doesn't have a lot of wear and tear on his body.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Yeah.
He can probably make it about 36, about 37. He'd be pretty good. But man, I have enjoyed you tonight. I appreciate you coming on here.
Man, it's been great, man. We've missed you.
Well, thank you. I'm so glad you came.
We've missed you. Occasionally I would pop in. I'm like, okay, he hasn't posted in a while. My boxing friend is gone.
I tell you what, this is the thing. I love boxing. Some of it just got on my nerves. And sometimes, and the social media thing kind of got on my nerves too, because you do some of these videos. I was going live and they wouldn't let people know I was on. And it just became frustrating on top of frustrating. I love the back and forth with everybody. I love the debate. I love the difference of opinions. And it's like YouTube, sometimes they put you in that little hole and it's just like, you're just like, man, I don't even feel like dealing with that today.
But you know what, Show, you do a great job. You have a great show, and don't let that get you down, because listen, it's hard to keep my attention. So the fact that I come back, that means you're popping. You're great.
I appreciate it, but I like the back and forth. I like how we came on tonight and we talked. I love that. And when YouTube trying to take that away from you, like, man, the debate ain't good. You know what I mean? Then people come in late. But anyway, we back. We're gonna do it. And I was trying to find a different time slot. That was one of my whole things too. but find a really good time slot. So I'm still up in the air about that, but we're gonna
Okay.
keep cranking them out. So thank
Listen,
you for coming
earlier
on.
would be earlier would be better because I'm an old lady. I'm ready to go to sleep.
You got it. Yeah, I
I'm
think I am
surprised I'm up
too.
now.
But I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna get
Okay.
it out. I'm gonna find a nice little spot. I might have to just go at random times and find something that I can do and find something that hits. But yeah, that's what we'll do. But
Listen,
thank you so much.
I will always be there to support.
All right. Appreciate
All
it.
right. Good night. Have
All
a
right.
good weekend.
All right, you too. Good night. All right. I am so happy that everybody came on. We had a good time tonight. Appreciate everybody. Hold on one second. Let me go ahead and get in here right before we sign on out of here. But like I said, man, that was a good show. Appreciate everybody that came out, participated in there. Like I said, we say what we say and we stand on that. That's straight up no chaser. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Hit the notification bell icon so you'll be a part of the show and you know when these shows and stuff are going on. And so till next time, guys, peace. I'm out.